What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus Washington. You're on the mark where we talk everything Falcons football. How are you guys doing on this Tuesday? How are y'all doing? Off season in full effect. I'm pretty sure Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris in the front office, they got something cooking for the upcoming weeks. So this video actually came from somebody actually sending me a link to this video. I didn't even know Matt Ryan had talked, but that's mainly because, you know, the 2 weeks leading up to the playoffs or to the Super Bowl, I don't be paying attention to none of this stuff, man. And apparently a lot of these podcasts went to the Super Bowl, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, Ocho with Nightcap, and a couple of other podcasts. So Cam's particular podcast, he did bring Matt Ryan on, and what I was told was there were some pretty interesting things that were said. And I was wondering why Matt Ryan's name was even coming up the last couple of days, because I'm like, okay, and bro, he hasn't played football in a full year and hasn't been here in the last two. Last two. So I guess this interview popped up, so we'll check it out. You mean, yep, Jayland, man, my days are they're running into each other. Yes. On this Wednesday. I apologize. I stand corrected. Appreciate it. How you doing today? What's going on, G? What's happening? Clayton says, yes, he was and still is. He was a dynamic QB, but he was a dynamic QB, but he was effective. Yeah, we're gonna get into this stuff. And for everybody that's been hitting me up, talking about my name came up from somebody. Listen, man, whatever. Like somebody sent me somebody actually sent me the clip where this person brought my name up. Again, I don't listen to this guy's stuff no more, man. And honestly, you know, we've already discussed this, man. The man contradicts himself. In the little bit that I heard, he contradicted himself. So, I've been told all I speak about is the quarterback. So why would I even talk about the coach if I only speak about the quarterback? That's contradiction number one. Number two is the reason why I haven't come over there is because I don't listen to their content anymore. The whole running, I don't understand it. I don't. The calling me out of my name, again, whatever. What's going on, Chard? But again, I don't listen to that nonsense. So, it is what it is. But the what's going on, Mill? What's happening? What's happening, Mill? What's happening, Chard? But the whole I didn't talk about that, and I came on right after the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, they hadn't even presented the trophy, and I was on live talking about Kyle Shanahan. Then I came back on the very next day and talked about Kyle Shanahan. I talked about that for a whole hour. So again, when people ask where I am, I'm over here minding my fucking business, talking football. What's going on, Vaughn? So again, man, don't send me anything the man has to say about me. I don't listen to their shit. So it is what it is. Now, if any one of them wants to talk football, they can come over here. They can leave the comfort of their safe space and come over here and talk football. I'm not going back and forth with narratives. I don't do that. So you want to come at me with facts. We've talked, I don't know how many times we've talked about other things ad nauseum. The ironic thing is I'm the one that always talks about quarterbacks, but that's all they're talking about. So anyway, moving on. Strapped Up says, facts, bro. Keep doing you, man. Don't worry about them. I'm sure you talking about Mike and them. Yeah, I ain't even mentioning the man's name, man. Miss Tattooed 100. Appreciate you. Travis says, underappreciated to a degree. We haven't had an all-time great QB, so there was no benchmark. I think that 28-3 will forever linger over his head. Not only that, but he was part of the biggest comeback in regular season history as well. But we'll get to this. Matter of fact, we'll get to it right now. Millie Mill says, yo, the Ridiot's still throwing shade at you, bro. Y'all know I'm too bright for shade to catch me. It's just sometimes people want to bring your name up, and it is what it is. But that's neither here nor there. So let's do this, fam. Let's go ahead and get into this interview because I'm kind of interested to hear this. Let me widen my screen. And then I'll give my take on whether he was underappreciated here or not, So yeah, let's get into it.
Bringing facts about a ton before the rising of the sun. But this ain't me in a shotgun. Matty Ice. This me in front of your TV having a whole lot of fun. Listen here, Peggy.
What's up, bud?
Who we got today, man?
Man, we got Mr. Atlanta on the Iceman.
Yes.
Matt Ryan. Thank you for coming today.
Of course. Good to be on with you guys.
Hey, listen, man, it's high energy today. You know, we do our little chants, not little chants, we do our big chants. We kind of get everybody in the kind of the realm. The main reason why I started 4th and 1, Matty Ice, is because I wanted to hold people accountable.
Okay.
Right? I wanted to make sure that we put the truth first. My first question to you is this. Has all your work been appreciated in Atlanta? The truth. Nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yeah. Starting with the bangers here.
No,
but here's my thing. Okay. The short answer is probably no.
No.
Probably no. But at the same time, I'm proud of what I did and the time that I spent there. I think there was a level of consistency that we provided. The division was a juggernaut.
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
And so, Juggernaut.
Yes.
At least in my opinion.
Bro,
you look at the defenses.
Yes.
You guys playing good defense. You knew it was always going to be physical in New Orleans. I know Tampa, for the most part, wasn't as good, but their defense was legit.
Defense was solid.
Defense was legit. And so we're playing in this tough division. You're playing against Drew Brees.
Right.
I mean, you knew you were getting the best of the best every time you went out. And I think there was a level of consistency of all three of us at that time in the division.
We were at our best at the same time.
Correct. And it made it hard.
It went from Drew.
Yeah.
Then it came to me, and then you guys.
Yeah.
Had the juice. And our biggest thing, it wasn't even necessarily about the NFC championship. It was like, we got to win our division.
Correct.
If we win our division, that tells us that we're the best NFC, because at that time, NFC South was probably the most competitive division.
That's facts.
Right?
For sure in the NFC, right?
Right.
If you think about the NFC at that time, the West was, it was Seattle. Nobody else was really that good at that time.
Yeah, the 49ers had a wave, but it wasn't aggressive.
Early.
Well, let me disagree with Cam Newton right there. A lot of the times it was competitive because the NFC South was trash. Secondly, there was only two titles when you look at New Orleans won theirs with Drew Brees, and then Tom Brady came and won with Tampa. So we're talking about in Matt Ryan's era, you're talking about 2 championships coming out of the NFC South in 15 years. So you take of that what you will. I think one of the main reasons that Matt Ryan might feel like he wasn't appreciated in Atlanta, I don't think a lot of it had to do with the fans, because even fans that thought Matt Ryan was washed at the end and were correct, like me, even will say that Matt Ryan was the best quarterback in Atlanta Falcon history. That's an absolute fact. But I think the way that he ended up in Indiana when Atlanta was trying to pursue Deshaun Watson, I think that's probably why he feels underappreciated, because he did ask for the trade after we didn't get Deshaun Watson. So, you kind of look at that. He left salty, but we'll get back into it.
Early in your career,
the Rams were
not very good.
But the reason why I asked that question, I say this: a native of Atlanta, I went through the transition from the Michael Vick to Matt Ryan.
Yeah,
and I would say I don't think you do have the measure of respect of the body of work that you did, right? And of course, it's coming from a biased tongue, because I look at it from a fan. I look at it from also the person who hated Matt Ryan, or Julio Jones more so. You know what I'm saying? as a person that was my favorite receiver watching still to this day, is Julio. And I would just hate to face you guys. But at the same time, looking at the things that you did philanthropically,
Yeah.
working with the community, and being an avid person for year in and year out, the expectations in Atlanta as a whole is high.
Yeah.
People are yearning for just success. And I say no, because you deserve your flowers, and I don't think you've gotten your just.
Well, I appreciate that. And it was hard. Like, the situation that I came into was difficult.
Yeah.
Because Mike, and I love Mike. I've gotten to know him through the years.
Correct.
He couldn't have been cooler to me.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot to me as a player, because it was like, okay, you got the blessing.
Oh my
from,
God.
You know what I mean?
God.
You got the blessing from the
Yeah.
guy. And I was like a Mike Vick fan.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it was like anybody our age,
Correct.
you could not have been as big of a fan. So I understood it from that respect. My game was different though.
Correct.
Right? My game was not that. It was more like the point guard, distributing,
Right.
kind of getting the guys involved,
Now I wonder if Cam Newton is going to call Matt Ryan a game changer, or what's the other term that he a game manager. Now I will say that what Matt Ryan just said was true. He came into a situation where Mike Vick, even with the conviction, Mike Vick was heavily loved in Atlanta. Heavily. A large majority of fans that are fans now, they came in during the Mike Vick era. So it was going to be hard for any quarterback to come in and, get that same love and respect that Mike Vick came in with. Because as consistent as Matt Ryan was up until the last, I say 2 or 3 years of his tenure as a Falcon QB, Matt Ryan never had his own signature shoe. Vic did. so that kind of show. And Mike Vick doesn't have the numbers that Matt Ryan has. If you look at, it's not even close. But there was a level of love that people had for Mike Vick. If you look at the success between Mike Vick and Matt Ryan, again, it's not even close. But that was a hard hurdle for him to jump over. So I'm gonna give him that one. And to his credit, Matt Ryan did carve out a space in that first 5 or 6 years, because we did have success. We just couldn't win in the playoffs. So let's continue.
going. I felt
Right.
like I could always make plays that I needed to make.
Right.
My legs were a little bit better. They weren't
Yeah.
great, but they were
Yeah.
good enough,
Yeah.
that I could make plays with them. But my style was different. And but that meant a lot to me that Mike was cool about that. I'm glad you mentioned, though, kind of the philanthropic work of Atlanta, because we choose to live there. I'm not
Absolutely.
a native, but I came to it, and I understand, being there for so long, what a cool place it is.
Right.
And we started ATL, so Advanced Lives, after George Floyd, right? So all of this crazy stuff that was going on, I'm sure you sat in team meetings that you had to respond to, and I sat in them. And quite honestly, I got from our teammates, we need white players to step up too.
Yeah.
And the cool part to me in Atlanta is that I think it's the place that we can do that,
Yes.
right? Where it's not about black, white, or whatever.
Right.
It's about everybody understanding what's actually going on
Right.
and how we can create more opportunities for kids that need it in the city of Atlanta that are
Absolutely.
specifically black.
I would tell you this, and I always have like white counterparts or Caucasian counterparts, and we're not expecting nothing other than empathy.
Right.
Just understand. It's like you tell people what it's like living in America with this biasness. And it's like right now how I'm wearing my hair. Cam Newton could wear that. But what about, Jaquez Martin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A random in Atlanta who now relates to
Who's
me
13 or 14.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm not expecting Matt Ryan to understand what it's like growing up black. I'm not saying that. But when I was in the locker room and we had these conversations, or this time period that was very sketchy in the NFL, because it was like, you got to choose a side, or whatever. And it was just like, bro, I just want to tell you about my struggles as a black man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting up here trying to tell you, like, you know what, that shit sucks. Yeah, of course it sucks. But at the same time, it's like the empathy to, I see how you feel. I see how you can feel a little triggered when you see the police officers. I see how you can feel triggered about certain things, but
I've always felt like.
So let me stop here real quick. I've always said this. Matt Ryan can run for politics. I'd vote for him. He's a very personable guy. Even now, when he's doing the analyst work, I think he's doing absolutely fantastic. In what he's doing now. But Smart comments. He says the media never held Matt Ryan accountable. I'll go a step further. The franchise never held him accountable. Matt Ryan didn't have, and I'm talking about in the years he was a quarterback, he didn't have a single guy behind him that would compete. Not one. So all the years Matt Ryan was here, Matt Ryan never had to worry about his job being taken. Hell, even Tom Brady, who's considered the GOAT, had a couple of guys behind him. And at one point, there was a guy behind him in Jimmy Garoppolo that the head coach wanted over Tom Brady. Matt Ryan never, ever had to worry about that. So, again, this is not taking nothing away from Matt Ryan's body of work as a quarterback over the 14-year span that he was here. People will call me a Matt Ryan hater because I saw the writing on the wall 3 years early. So when I said he was cooked, people were hating me for this, but it was true. He was cooked. And I will, after this, I will show you some numbers that will prove this. So let's continue.
Our experiences as teammates were always similar in the locker room.
Right.
But when I left the building or you left the building, our experiences were very different.
Wow.
And to not acknowledge that, I don't understand that, right? Because to me, you're just not listening.
Absolutely.
Like you said. And I wish the world was a lot more like a locker room.
Yeah.
Where it's uncomfortable conversations happen.
It happens.
And people are real.
They're very unfiltered. Right.
But at the same time, they're honest.
Yeah.
And I think that part is really cool. Like the world would be a little bit better off if it happened a little bit more like a locker room.
I just have to ask you this question as we kind of transition into the flow of questions. It's 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6.
Right? You're down by 4.
Down by 4, okay.
You get an 11 hole, 11 robber, whatever. You have Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And you have Julio Jones.
Yeah. Julio. Can't go wrong either way.
No. Who's getting the football?
Well, if it's robber, you're saying that guy's coming down to the middle of the field. I got one-on-one on my ex.
Come on, break
Big
it down,
Julio's
man.
going deep, right on top. We're throwing the goal ball. I'm going to take it. I'm gonna take it. Now, if it's zone coverage,
yes, sir.
Tony G eats up zone coverage in the middle of the field.
He was a problem. His IQ,
unbelievable.
And it was this crazy thing, and I'm thinking about it as I'm remembering. He would do this pirouette,
and then the triple threat.
He would catch it, and then he would spin off.
Yeah,
it was almost like boom, I'm catching it out, but I'm gonna face up.
Yes,
like that way, right?
He always squared people up.
It was so awkward to see, but he would always squeeze an additional like 6 to 8 yards.
Yeah,
on a sticky route. I'm like, what are we doing here?
We used to say it all the time. He was playing basketball, so he'd catch this thing, he would face you up, put that thing in the triple threat, and then try and cross you over.
Yeah,
and he wasn't that fast.
No,
and he wasn't that quick.
No,
but he made people miss.
The great tight ends are the great tight ends are. Peggy, you ready to get into the questionable calls of the week?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and get into the
So
calls.
how we do this on 4th and 1, we have a more engaged
Larry, what's going on?
Okay.
Right. So you answer the question and you go from there. Can you name the quarterback who was struck by lightning twice? And he started in the Super Bowl. He started in the Super Bowl in the last 20 years.
I got no idea.
Struck twice.
I got no idea. Who got struck by lightning twice?
What is it? Hasselbeck.
Boston College? Matt Hasselbeck got struck by lightning?
Bro.
Baston.
Crazy.
This is crazy.
Even with that,
I had no idea.
Me neither.
I should know.
Having that year in Boston, how did you endure the weather there, bro?
Dude, I didn't know any different. I grew up in Philadelphia, and so it was kind of cold there. Then I got to Boston. It was a different level of cold. But I was young and dumb. I had no idea. Then I got to Atlanta and I wore shorts and t-shirt on a Christmas. And I was like, I don't think I'm going back. I'm not going back north. I kind of like it. Now I'm soft, man.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Bougie.
It's cold. I'll tell you what, it gets dark so early too. Like that was the thing that would
gloomy
drive me crazy in Boston.
The Southeast.
Yeah.
Next question. What we got? Can you name the three of the top 5 most watched Super Bowl halftime shows
of all time?
And who performed during the Super Bowl you played in?
All right. Lady Gaga performed in the Super Bowl I played in.
Rah, 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 rah.
So 3 of the top 5 most watched. I'm going to say the Janet Jackson.
That's a good one.
Justin Timberlake one.
It's
got to be, right? Maybe it was up there.
Janet Jackson.
Justin Timberlake. He said.
Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake.
That's got to be one of them. I'm going to say
2-minute drill, Matty Ice.
I know. I'll go with Gaga. Go ahead. It might be. That was a crazy comeback. Katy Perry? Lady Gaga was up there. I was at third.
She was.
Rihanna.
Rihanna
was good. She was flying all over the
place.
What
I'm saying, I thought Beyonce would have been up there.
Beyonce should be up higher. She not.
Yeah. That was surprising.
You know what's weird about the halftime game, though? It kind of just depends on who's playing in the game.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
That's
so it's
true.
less about, I feel like it's less about the performer and more about who was playing in that game.
Real Super Bowl question.
Yep.
What was the biggest takeaway from your Super Bowl that I know for me, I underestimated the halftime.
Yeah, it's long. It's ridiculous.
Bro, guys changed their uniforms.
Yeah.
Restretched, it was so long, and I was saying to myself, like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Over the time for me, too, I felt mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
What was your experience like?
The halftime, you're spot on. I mean, they can prepare you for it all you want. Like we would do these things in practice where we take this break in the middle of practice, but like, it's just so different. You're so conditioned.
Yeah.
Like the halftime in the NFL is fast.
Yeah.
Like normal games. Boom. Yeah. Maybe, hey, here's the first play we're running.
Yeah.
Get a Gatorade, whatever. And then you're back out there. So that was crazy. I just felt like the volume of the early in the week, you know, of like doing the media day, doing that stuff, the and volume, just like the press conference after press conference after press conference that you have to do, compartmentalizing that.
Right.
I feel like I did okay, but like,
that
was kind of a time suck and kind of an energy drain where it was like, man. So I think the experience factor comes in. Like when we talk about Super Bowl experience, to me, it's less about playing the game.
Yeah.
It's more about handling all of the other crap that comes along with it. Yeah.
For sure. Man, Matty Ice, my guy, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man.
I have
Appreciate
one question
you.
real
Yes.
quick. I know you have some things going on with ALS.
Yes.
Ice Bucket Challenge. Just tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So that Ice Bucket Challenge went viral 10 years ago, which is wild that it did. But the reason it's important to me, one of my buddies at Boston College was Pete Frates, who was instrumental in starting the Ice Bucket Challenge, suffered from ALS, saw what the disease did to him, how it affected his family, but also saw what a champion he was for trying to raise awareness, raise research for ALS. And so here today, kind of spreading the word on, hey, we did a great job at the beginning, but we got to keep it rolling.
Keep it going.
We got to keep it going. You know how it goes in these type of things. It's the follow through. It takes time to find the cure. And so trying to keep that awareness up, trying to keep it rolling, and hopefully we can do a good job with it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Cam, you the best.
Man, listen, hey, before we get out of here, you gotta lock in with me. Can you follow instructions? Can you take coaching?
I am.
All right, here we go.
Coachable.
One hand out. When I say all together, you're gonna say one love.
Okay.
All right, one finger.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there because they always fuck that up. But yeah, so again, Matt Ryan interview, good interview, man. Again, you know, Matt Ryan is a likable person, man. You can't knock Matt Ryan off the field. Off the field, he did everything you could ask of a quarterback, and even on the field, in certain years, you know, especially 2016. I mean, by far being that was his best year, and then 2018, those numbers kind of mirror the 2016 year. It's just, you know, we didn't have the same outcome. But if you look at a situation where, let me let me preference this. So when I was saying that Matt Ryan is cooked, right? Caught a whole lot of bullets. Because again, there are fans that will put one player over the entire team. Right? So when you look at Matt Ryan's last year as a Falcon, his completion rating was 67. He threw for 3,968 yards. Played all the games. 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He had a quarterback rating of 90.4. That was his last year as a Falcon. This is the Matt Ryan that people wanted to keep, right? Then he went to the Colts. His completion rating was exactly the same. It was 67%. He threw for 3,057 yards, 14 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and he had a rating of 83.9. They benched Matt Ryan twice in that year, and then they cut him. So when you look at the numbers, he threw 6 more touchdowns in 2021. He threw 1 less pick. He threw damn near 900 more yards, but he played every game. But he was benched twice in Indiana. Same completion rating. They got rid of him. And he arguably had more weapons in Indiana. Because remember, when he went to Indiana, they were like, we're a quarterback away. That's all you heard. They're a quarterback away. When Pat McAfee, when they found out Matt Ryan was coming, oh yeah, we in there. He gets cut. No team picks him up. You'll have guys telling you there were suitors, but was it a starting position or a bench? Because I can firmly remember when Matt Ryan still had on a Falcons jersey in 2021, I told people 2 years from now, Matt Ryan will be he'll be behind a desk commenting on football games. And that's exactly what happened. So the funny part about Matt Ryan is, honestly, he had 2 seasons where his rating was over 100. And ironically, it was 2016 and 2018 where he had eerily the same numbers. His worst year was 80. That was his second year. Well, that was his second year. Which I'm going to give a pass on it. Second damn year. But when you look at the second year at 80, and then you look at 2022 at 83. Scooter says Colts had a top 10 O-line to bottom ranked. Exactly. So again, I think 2 things can be true. I think he can feel like he's underappreciated. He's got every right to feel that way, especially how things ended with our relationship with him. You got a front office that's doing everything they can to get Deshaun Watson, while Deshaun Watson's got like 25 cases on him. Now, if your quarterback wasn't cooked, why are they even looking at Deshaun Watson? So he's got every right to feel like he was underappreciated. I get that 100%. But I don't think the fan base underappreciated Matt Ryan. I just think we got to a point to where it's like, yeah, you know what? It's time to move on. Matt is falling off a cliff. I'll give you further proof. Another quarterback who fell off a cliff was Drew Brees. Fans were calling for Drew Brees to leave, and they were making the playoffs. It's just when they got to the playoffs, he didn't have enough juice in that arm anymore. They were making the playoffs, fam. And Saints fans were like, we got to move up off of Drew Brees. But for whatever reason, down here in Atlanta, you can't say that about Matt Ryan when it was going on, when it was clear as day. Just like we couldn't say anything about Desmond Ridder when it was clear as day. But overall, I've always said this. Matt Ryan was a way better quarterback than Mike Vick. But did Matt Ryan bring fans to the team? You take it however you want to. I'm probably going to say no. Mike Vick did, though. Hey, I witnessed this with my own eyes. Guys were literally low-key jumping ship from their team to the Falcons when Mike Vick was here. Cats was wearing his sneakers. So, I don't think, as a whole, I don't think he's underappreciated. And more so, as the years pass by, he'll even be more appreciated in Atlanta. Because that's just how it goes. But I think he might have just felt slighted by the fact of how this thing ended. I gave 14 years to this organization. Y'all looking at this kid? Y'all can't even start him if you sign him. He's going to get suspended. And that front office was willing to take the gamble. Now, if Matt Ryan didn't feel slighted, he wouldn't have asked for a trade. Because remember, there was a report after we didn't get Deshaun Watson, the front office was trying to extend Matt Ryan. But if Matt wasn't cooked, Indiana didn't waste no time with Matt Ryan. None. They saw he was cooked. And we got a bad deal, man. They benched him the first time, then they benched him the second time because they didn't want to have to owe that man no money in the offseason. And I low-key don't blame Matt Ryan for wanting out after that. Anybody's going to feel that type of way. Anybody is. I done gave you 14. Listen, I know I'm long in the tooth. Listen, I know we done went 4-12. I know it. But damn, you ain't got to do your butt like this. I won't out. And both parties handled it professionally. Because the Falcons could have sent him anywhere. But they said, where you want to go, Matt? Where you want to go? We'll find a way to get you there. Got a third rounder for him. And he went to a competitor. Got benched twice, cut. And now he's in the booth where he's doing a good job. But you know, over the years, I've been called a Matt Ryan hater. I don't like Matt Ryan. All this other bullshit. When I just simply said the boy ain't got it. Larry says Vic brought fans. It's Atlanta and we love the Flash. Yeah. Fam, you know in 2024, people were still talking about Mike Vick. Man, if you were old enough to live through them years, fam, that was some electrifying football to watch. Led the league in rushing damn near every year. That was a given. But I will say it again. Matt Ryan was a better quarterback than Mike Vick was. The one thing that absolutely pissed me off about Mike Vick, this happened years after he was here. He had an interview with Moore. And he sat there and admitted he never studied the damn playbook. Man, when I tell you that pissed me off, because I'm like, bro, if you actually would have dedicated yourself to the game, bro, we would have been super lethal. Matt played the game. There was never any controversy about Matt Ryan. Off the field, the man was a saint. But to come right behind Mike Vick and that electrifying time in football, that was going to be hard for anybody to do. And he had success. But here was another knock on Matt Ryan. He could not win in the playoffs. The first year, okay, we can take that. Rookie QB, we getting back on our feet. And this is another prime example when people tell you it takes years to build a foundation. Utter bullshit. We went from Mike Vick to having arguably one of the darkest years in Falcon football history to the very next year, us going 11-5 and going to the playoffs. And then having a consistent winning record for years. Think Matt Ryan was like 0-4 in the playoffs. So that was another knock on Matt Ryan. But I don't think anybody got Matt Ryan's ass until that last 2 or 3 years. I think from 2019 until the time he left in 2021, he was getting that work. Because you can see the fall off was apparent. You could see it. Accuracy gone. Overthrowing receivers, taking sacks. All this was the same shit he was doing in Indiana, by the way. Okay, Clayton says 49ers fired Steve Wilks. Kyle said he will. Oh, wow. Hold on. Breaking news. Let's go over here real quick. Hold on. There's a fall guy. Ain't nobody firing Kyle Shanahan though. But it's Steve Wilks' fault. Hold on. All right, Steve Wilks fired as 49ers defensive coordinator after one season. It just ended up being not the right fit. How the fuck do you tell somebody it's not the right fit and y'all made the Super Bowl? This is Fall Guy 101. Scapegoatism. It just wasn't the right. Y'all made it to the Super Bowl. It just wasn't the right fit. That's what you tell somebody when you go 4-13 or some nonsense like that. Not you got to the Super Bowl. You were up by 10 points. And let's blame the defensive coordinator. All right. I hear you. I hear you. But ain't nobody looking Kyle Shanahan's way. What happened in the third quarter when you became anemic to running the football? Why is Brock Purdy throwing the ball 40 times? It ain't. No, you know what? It's the defense, man. It's just y'all went to overtime. You had a chance to put up 7 first. You put up 3. Now you want to throw. Now you want to throw your defense. I got you. Moving on. So, do I think Matt Ryan is underappreciated. Do I? Well, I'll say this. Do I underappreciate Matt Ryan? No. Not at all. When Matt Ryan got traded, hey, man, thanks for the 14 years. And we moved on. But you have fans that are fans of one player. And it's usually, when it comes to the Falcons, it's usually the quarterback. Couldn't say nothing about Matt Ryan when these picks were happening. Look at Desmond. Couldn't say anything about Desmond Ridder. But I tell y'all, time and time again, facts always win out. The truth always wins out. Always. So again, I appreciate Matt Ryan for what he did and what he's doing. Matt Ryan's doing excellent. A lot of people don't like Tony Romo. I actually enjoy Tony Romo. But I will say Matt Ryan, to me, is more, he's more personable than Tony Romo. And I think Matt's going to do a great job at whatever he plans to do in life after football. But I ain't coming off the porch on what I said about Matt Ryan 3 years prior to him going to another team. I'm going to stand on that. Lisa says, it's crazy that Pitts will be on his 5th QB this year since 2021. Yeah, that's why I'm not willing to give up on him. That's why I'm not willing to give up on Pitts. Because I saw what he did with Matt Ryan. And the crazy part about that season was Matt Ryan didn't really start throwing to him until the London game when he had no choice. And then when he threw it to Pitts, he's like, oh, this boy, good. Pitts was in the Pro Bowl, first year. Even though we won 7 games that year. He went to the Pro Bowl. I don't think Matt went to the Pro Bowl, but he did. So again, man, when I talk about players, it's never personal. It's based on what I see on the field. But you let other people tell it, I hate these players. I got a personal vendetta with these. I don't know these guys. All I know is what I can see on the football field. And if it's boo-boo, it's boo-boo. You take your emotion out of the game and just focus on what you see, you'll see everything. But when you're blinded by emotion, you'll start doing what Dan Orlovsky does. Just feels like he has to defend the quarterback position at any cost. And you start to sound stupid. So I'll say it again for everybody in the back. Matt Ryan is the greatest quarterback in Falcon history. But he was still ready to go in those last 3 years. So that means he played 14 years. 11 of those years, I was pro Matt Ryan. Those last 3, he was trash. And the Colts further validated this. His arm strength was gone. No, he still got an arm. Did y'all hear what Drew Brees was talking about when Drew Brees retired? And just recently, Drew Brees said he can't even throw with that arm. He can't even throw the football with that arm. It happens, family. But I think as the years go on and the years go on and the years go on, Matt will realize he was appreciated here. Now, do the fans appreciate Mike Vick more than Matt Ryan? That's a conversation for another pod. That's a different conversation, fam. But I think both are appreciated because Vic did some dumb shit with the football too. But nonetheless, it is what it is. So this was a pod where we did talk about the quarterback. And to all the haters, y'all can't pull nothing from this. He hate Matt Ryan. He was always talking about Matt Ryan. Talk about 2016. When I jumped off the porch in the middle of the season and said Matt Ryan is running away with the MVP, it ain't even close. And Tom Brady was having a good year that year. I said it ain't even close. Matt Ryan has the MVP. Talk about how I said we were going to run the table after the Kansas City game all the way to the Super Bowl and go 11-5. Talk about that. Be sure to mention all this stuff I said before that 3 years, which it's proven he was falling off a cliff. You go back and watch the last 2 years. Go back and watch 2020. That was the year we won 7 games. What made Arthur Smith's run as a head coach so terrible is in all 3 years, this team could have made the playoffs. Even in 2021, we were 0 for 8 in game-winning drives. We won 7. The next year, the man pulled a Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. The third year, he pulled in Urkel. Did I do that? 3 different quarterbacks. You can argue 2 of them were over the hill and 1 wasn't even ready to climb. Smart says Matt Ryan earned that MVP that year. Yeah. I called that in the middle of the season in 2016. And then when we lost the Super Bowl, I ain't put that on Matt Ryan. The only thing I put on Matt Ryan was that one play when Julio caught the ball. We should have been, I don't care what Kyle Shanahan called in that helmet. He should have overrode that and said, we're running the damn ball. He didn't. That's the only thing I put on Matt Ryan. Other than that, you look at his numbers. He had statistically one of the best Super Bowl stat lines in Super Bowl history. So people say, man, he's just saying this because he hates on Matt Ryan. No, I was saying this then. What's going on, country? I was saying this then. But you know, Ryanites, they got to run with a narrative about your boy. Always got to run with a narrative. Just like people will hop on and talk about how come he ain't talking about Kyle Shanahan. My last 2 videos, that's pretty much all I've talked about. But you got to run. The narrative sounds sexier than the truth sometimes. And if people don't know no better, they'll believe what you said. He only talk about the quarter. He don't never talk about nothing else. He don't never talk about nothing. He always talk about the quarterback. There's other things that he could talk about. He ain't talk about Kyle Shanahan. No, he didn't. Y'all absolutely right. He don't never talk about anything else. That's all he talk about. I ain't hear him talk about Kyle Shanahan. He ran. He disappeared. Shanahan went to bed again and he disappeared. Exhibit A. I just want y'all to read the title. I want y'all to just read the title of that. That was my second video on Shanahan's neck. I'm still smoking on a Shanahan pack. Just read that. I'm going to leave that up there for a second. Y'all notice ain't no quarterback in that title? Not one. But you let people create narratives, and other people will run with it. If that's they folk, they'll run with it. But over here, we deal with straight facts. He don't want to talk about it. He go running, and I'm over here talking about it. But you let these other guys tell it, man. They run with narratives. He only saying that because he don't like Desmond Ridder. When I was talking about Desmond Ridder need to be on the bench. That's why I don't take these guys serious, bro. So don't y'all be sending me nothing. I don't watch their stuff. Lisa says, how would you define Shanahan's legacy at this point with him being 0-3 in the Super Bowl? Man, I'm smoking on that Shanahan pack, Lisa. No, ain't no love on Shanahan. Ain't no love for Shanahan. To me, this is what I think about Kyle Shanahan. Great offensive coordinator. Great. Anybody telling you that Kyle Shanahan is a trash offensive coordinator, they on that powder. I don't think he's a great head coach. And I don't think San Francisco will win with Kyle Shanahan as the head coach. Because every single loss, Kyle Shanahan did the same exact thing in all three losses. He stopped running the ball. And he did this when he had world-class running backs. With us, we had Tevin Coleman and we had Freeman. Now, Coleman got hurt, but Freeman was having an all-world season. The first time with San Francisco, he had Raheem Mostert, who was a speed demon. This year, he had the offensive player of the year in Christian McCaffrey, who has been an absolute dog when healthy since he entered the league. And he looked at all them guys and said, nah, we're going to throw the ball. The first time they went to, it's ironic, the first time they went to the Super Bowl, they were averaging 5.7 yards a carry with Mostert and stopped running the ball. They had a 10-point lead. Bruh, I cannot make this up. They had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. They lost by 11. Millie says, so we smoking on that Quinn pack too, Mark. Yeah, I'm smoking on all that. I got my lighter ready for next year. I'm gonna be smoking on that Quinn pack. So, for anybody thinking that I didn't think Shanahan had any blame, y'all better think twice. Y'all better think twice. I think as a head coach, Kyle Shanahan is below average, but it's his great offensive coordinator play calling that makes him good. On top of that, San Francisco is stacked to the nines when it comes to talent. So you put a great offensive coordinator and great weapons, you should expect this. Same with Sean McVay. Same with what's the boy's name down there in Green Bay? Jesus, I'm looking him dead in his face, man. I'm looking him dead in his damn face. He's a stud too. But I think Matt LaFleur, appreciate it, G. Matt LaFleur. But Shanahan got one more time. Shanahan got one more time to play around in San Francisco. He up out of there. And they got a window for next year. But I mean, damn, you gotta hope you can get back with everybody healthy. Because God forbid Christian McCaffrey go down, y'all season over. But in closing, I appreciate Matt Ryan and everything that he did. Furthermore, I'll take it a step further. I appreciate every player for what they did here. Even if they left cheeks. One of the players I love to infinity and beyond is Sean Weatherspoon. Spoon, when healthy, was a monster. But we dubbed him the gingerbread man because he could never stay healthy. I remember the last year when Sean Weatherspoon got healthy, man, he just disappeared off the roster. He disappeared off the roster entirely. But I'm gonna appreciate everybody that put the jersey on, but more so Matt Ryan. The one thing you can never argue about Matt was gonna come. Matt was gonna play his heart out, and Matt was an Iron Man. They were very. I don't even know, Matt. Let me pull this up. I am curious as to how many games Matt Ryan did not play. I can count 2 off the top of my head. Hold on. All right. So, bruh, I'm putting this up because this is crazy. This is crazy, bruh. I'm gonna share this. Let me take my Pornhub down real quick. Bro, look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Bro, you can't knock that. You can't knock that. 3 games in 15 years. Now we can talk about these numbers. We can talk about that arm turning into a noodle. We can talk about that accuracy falling off a cliff. We can talk about the shadow sacks that he took. But damn it, 3 games in 15 years? He must have missed one in Indy too, because I can only recall 2 that he missed here. And one of the games I can remember he missed, Schaub came in and Schaub threw for like 400 yards. Bro, that's incredible right there. 3 in 15 years, bro. Julio was missing that in a 5-game stretch. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. Good interview by Cam Newton. That passed me by because again, I don't be watching none of this stuff in between the championship games and the Super Bowl. I'll end it with this. Lisa says that is remarkable considering there were several seasons when he took a lot of hits due to poor O-line play. Matt is tall and slim, taking all those hits without serious injury. Yeah, I mean, you can't knock that. But Matt, I appreciate you, but I'm gonna call it like a TI is. Them last 3 years, you was cheeks. You was big cheeks, not BBL cheeks. You were like Georgia Freaknik cheeks. But I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have yourselves a fantastic, today's Wednesday, right? You have yourselves a fantastic Wednesday. Your boy will probably be hollering at you sometime this weekend, fam. With that being said, I'm out. Oh, before I get out, appreciate everybody in the chat and everybody that catches this live. For those that catch this a little later on, I appreciate you. And I appreciate all the other content creators. Y'all know I say this a lot. The Dixon Way, y'all go catch Larry. Larry constantly be on, man. Constantly be on. So shout out to the Dixon Way, Smitty Sports Machine, Berto and them, Uncle Steve, Bird Gang. I just drew a damn blank on the next one. Birdcage with Ryan and the crew over there. Y'all go rock with them, man. Your boy is up out of here. Peace.